This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 21st day of December in the year 2022. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. President Irfan Ali today announced that members of the joint services will be receiving their 1-month annual bonus, in addition to that 8% salary increase and the salary adjustments that were recently announced. Addressing ranks of the Guyana Defense Force today, the president said the 1-month bonus is part of his government's commitment to provide a better life for the men and women in uniform.
As you know, we had some difficult years when your 1-month annual bonus was taken away. You remember that? So in addition to all the benefits I've just spoken about, I know you don't need anything more after I told you what we're doing. But in keeping with our commitment to our men and women in uniform, again I wish to announce your 1-month bonus for this year.
The president also announced a number of measures which will see GDF ranks and all members of the joint services moving closer to home ownership. According to the president, the government has been able to negotiate with 3 commercial banks and the New Building Society for them to reduce interest rates on low-income mortgages, which will see joint services ranks benefiting. In addition, the president said members of the GDF will be signed up on a home support program before the end of the year. Commercial banks will be setting up booths at Base Camp Guyana next Wednesday to provide on-the-spot loans for those GDF ranks who have land and are moving towards home ownership.
Further, for all of those of you who would have already been allocated your land, not only will you benefit from this low-income interest rate, but you will benefit from the steel and cement that will be input from the government to move you to home ownership. And as we assured you before the end of this year, we wanted all of you who have your own land to be signed up with the banks and sign up under the home support program.
President Ali has assured the ranks that his government is committed to their well-being and that of their families. More news coming up in just a moment. Stay with us.
Something big is here. GTT presents the moment you've all been waiting for.
'Tis the season to drive with GTT. Get your chance to be one of 4 lucky winners of a Toyota Raise, plus weekly giveaways and more. Simply activate a prepaid plan, sign up for fiber and voice plan, pay any 2 bills with MMG, or join the GTT family, and vroom! It could be you. 4 Toyota Raises, 4 winners. Drive with GTT.
At Giftland Office Max, we're all about customer satisfaction. Whether it's clothing and shoes for the ladies, gents, and kids, or for the latest electronics or hardware appliance, we're always thinking of satisfying you, our dear customers. Now you can shop online at www.giftlandofficemax.com or visit us at the Giftland Mall, where we're happy to serve each and every one of you.
Season to get what you've always wanted. wanted with a little help from Republic Bank. Same day approvals apply online. It's time to make it happen for yourself and your family. Get cash back for the best Christmas ever. Sorrel making, garlic postering, ham and black cake eating. Now this is Christmas.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Fireside Suite, standard and unique. Room fresh and nice, comfortable and neat. 24-hour whole day we a do it. Affordable price down a Garnet Street, yo. Can't vex, cause we top of the line. Fireside are the best, 5-star we a shine. From you come one time, we take a left on your mind. To tell your family, your friend, them one more time. Say, best service a Fireside Suite. Safety ensure down a Fireside Suite. Price them cheap down a Fireside Suite. Come enjoy your stay down a Fireside Suite. Fireside Suite located at 154 Garnet Street, Kitty. For bookings and reservation, call contact number 623-3473. Matic Queen.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Guyana's oil sector is expected to expand by 113% by the end of 2022, while its non-oil economy is projected to have a better than expected turnout of 9.6%, as against the 7.7% growth projected at the start of the year. The Inter-American Development Bank, the IDB, made the disclosures in its quarterly report, Headwinds Facing Post-Pandemic Recovery in the Caribbean. The report was released on Tuesday. The report said the main drivers of growth in the non-oil economy include agriculture, services, and construction. The report said all three sectors showed dynamic growth in their mid-year results. In contrast, gold production and the manufacturing sector contracted in the first semester of this year, leading to a downward revision of growth estimates for the year for those sectors to 7.4% and 7.5%. The report also said in general, Guyana's economy continues to boom, with oil production driving growth in the economy and even in exports. The IDB pointed out that the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, in its October 2022 World Economic Outlook increased its estimate for oil production and GDP growth as a result of incorporating oil production from 2 additional floating production, storage, and offloading vessels. In addition to considering higher levels of oil production, the new estimates account for higher energy prices, significantly supporting Guyana's main export flows. The report said consequently the country's volume of exported goods is projected to increase by an annual average of 50% up to 2026, as opposed to the IMF's earlier estimate of 22.5%. It said too that the inclusion of additional FPSOs in the IMF estimates also almost doubled annual average GDP growth estimates, which were projected at 31.6% over the next 4 years. The report said government revenues and expenditures are expected to follow a similar trend, averaging annual growth rates of 20% and 11% respectively in the next 4 years, leading to fiscal primary surpluses and near-balanced budgets in the medium term. The IDB report said Guyana is not only benefiting from higher energy prices, but also from higher levels of oil production. Specific commodities such as oil and aluminum are projected to have relatively high prices through 2024, the report noted. The average price of the main oil benchmarks reached a high of $98 per barrel in this year, up from $61 before the COVID-19 pandemic. The price is expected to remain over $80 through 2024 before dropping to $71 by 2027. The report also said that Guyana's higher levels of oil production have significantly affected the profile of the country's net trade in agricultural products and mineral fuels with the rest of the world. The country, it said, is rapidly moving from being a net importer of agricultural products and mineral fuels, representing 8% of the GDP in 2018 and 2019, to being a net exporter of the same commodities with a trade surplus of 16% of the GDP in 2020 and 31% in 2021 with the rest of the world. Prior to oil production, Guyana's main suppliers driving the trade deficit in those areas were the Caribbean Community countries. Turning now to the oil and gas sector, the president of ExxonMobil Guyana, Alastair Rutledge, said investments in Guyana's human capital is paying dividends, with more than 4,400 Guyanese currently supporting the local oil and gas industry, with local suppliers raking in more than $140 billion since the discovery of oil in 2015. According to the Exxon chief, Guyanese now represent some 64% of the industry's workforce.
It speaks to the early commitments that we made around things like the Centre for Local Business Development starting in 2017. But along that way, working with other organizations like the TVET schools, with the ministries to ensure that people are well trained and available and able to contribute and play an important part in developing the nation's resource.
The U.S. oil giant is also collaborating with the government to develop the Guyana Technical Training College, which is intended to provide world-class training and certification to Guyanese workers in 5 main skill areas: electrical, mechanical, instrumentation, and process operations, as well as civil and building construction. Mr. Rutledge assured that the company's near-term impact would be felt more in investments.
We will have a much bigger impact as we invest in the projects, as we build the business through the development of local content, and we're able to give local businesses, people, jobs and opportunities to grow, to develop skills, and to be able to become competitive internationally.
With 9 oil discoveries announced this year and the second project starting up in the Stabroek Block offshore Guyana, Mr. Rutledge said it has been a rewarding year for the ExxonMobil company.
We're very fortunate to have made true success here in Guyana, and it started by finding the right rocks, which was, as you know, a very long journey to that point of finding the hydrocarbon here in Guyana. But now that we're on that path, putting it all together, continuing that success momentum from exploration through into the development and the projects is fundamental to then setting up this business for the future.
The Piara project, the third in the Stabroek Block, is expected to start up next year, and according to the Exxon boss, it will provide further opportunities for success and development in Guyana.
We're drilling a number of exciting exploration wells, which my fingers are crossed and look forward to the results of those. We have another major project startup with the Piara project coming before the end of the year, and of course many other projects and activities that continue to grow.
Rutledge said aside from investments made in the area of oil production, ExxonMobil Guyana takes its corporate social responsibility seriously and has been contributing to community projects that focus on STEM education, community building, women empowerment, and environmental protection. To date, it has spent more than $2 billion Guyana dollars on social projects. Further, together with its co-venturers, ExxonMobil will be injecting $20 billion into the Greater Guyana Initiative to roll out a number of capacity-building projects in keeping with the country's overall development projections and objectives.
It's November already and soon it will be Christmas, so we at John Lewis Styles are giving away one Amazon Echo show every week in November and every day in December. Stream music and videos, make video calls and control smart devices, alarms, reminders and lots more. Every $5,000 spent gives you a chance to win when you shop for clothing, footwear, watches, fragrances, handbags, luggage and accessories. So visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles, simply different.
The Guyana Youth Student Movement presents the Green Line Edition. December the 26th at Congress Place of Fire. Performing live, Quasi Age, the Fame Band, DJ Magnum, DJ Reality, and Mixmaster Tony. Admission $1,000. Cash prizes for individuals and group with the best cut-up attire. It's the Green Line Edition.
Fireside Suite standard and unique. Room fresh and nice, comfortable and neat. 24-hour whole day we a do it. Affordable price on a Garnet Street, yo. Can't vex cause we top of the line. Fireside are the best, 5-star we a shine. From you come one time, we tag a left on your mind. To tell your family, your friend, them one more time say. Best service a Fireside Suite. Safety ensure down a Fireside Suite. Price them cheap down a Fireside Suite. Come enjoy your stay down a Fireside Suite. Fireside Suite located at 154 Garnet Street, Kitty. For bookings and reservation, call contact number 623-3473. Mate Queen.
GBTI Quick Cash Christmas is back, just the way you like it. Get up to $500,000 easy for anything you want this Christmas. We ain't waiting on Santa. We buy and we own this Christmas. Apply at your nearest branch or online at www.gbtibank.com from October 15th to December 31st. GBTI, we see Christmas through your eyes. Terms and conditions apply.
A very Merry Guyanese Christmas.
Let's tell you now that APNU AFC Chief Scrutineer Carol Smith-Joseph was placed on bail today, totaling $140,000 when she appeared in the Maikoni Magistrates Court to face 14 fraud charges related to her previous work at the Mahaika Abari Rice Development Scheme. The West Coast Berbice politician was not required to enter a plea to the indictable charges, which were laid by the Special Organized Crime Unit on the basis that she allegedly fraudulently appropriated the funds of the Mahaika Abari Rice Development Scheme. Her appearance in the Maikoni Magistrates Court today before Magistrate Marissa Mittelholzer comes days after the leader of the opposition, Aubrey Norton, called on the ruling PPP government to end its witch hunt against Smith-Joseph and the coalition supporters and other members. Mr. Norton has accused the government of politicizing and misusing the country's security forces to target opposition members and supporters.
SOCU was established to deal with money laundering and other special crimes. The opposition believes that the allegations made against Barrett Jackleo can be considered special crimes. One would have expected that in keeping with SOCU's mandate, there would have been an investigation into the allegation of bribery and corruption allegedly committed by Vice President Jackleo. Clearly, SOCU's role seems to be to go after innocent people rather than those who are accused of being involved in criminal activity.
But according to the Guyana Police Force, the Special Organized Crime Unit in charging Smith-Joseph was responding to a report which was made in March by the Mahaika Abari Rice Development Scheme, a rice milling complex. It said that Smith-Joseph was accused of fraudulently appropriating the company's funds in 2016 while serving as a board director. The police said it was against that report that SOCU launched an investigation. Investigators at SOCU claimed that between June and August of 2016, Smith-Joseph approved 14 transactions amounting to some $6.1 million without the board's knowledge and approval. For each of the 14 fraud charges, she was placed on $10,000 bail, resulting in a total of $140,000. Smith-Joseph was represented by attorney Nigel Hughes and senior counsel Roy Stilford. The case has been adjourned to the 11th of January for statements and the 7th of June 2023 for the commencement of the preliminary inquiry. Let's tell you now that the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry wants the City Council to impose tougher penalties and fines on those businesses that continue to dispose of their garbage improperly. Since the start of the holiday shopping season, there has been a buildup of garbage in the main shopping areas, especially along Regent and Robb Streets and surrounding areas. The City Council continues to face a major hurdle with its cleanup efforts, as businesses would just place a large amount of waste at the side of the roadways and not in containers. In a statement today, the Chamber of Commerce, while urging city businesses to adhere to proper garbage disposal methods, said it is extremely concerned with the garbage buildup along Regent, Robb and Charlotte Streets. The Chamber says citizens and business owners need to refrain from dumping their garbage on the roadways and in the drains, and it wants the City Council to impose harsher penalties on businesses and residents who dispose of their garbage in an indiscriminate manner. The Georgetown Chamber of Commerce is also encouraging the City Council to acknowledge its responsibility for ensuring a timely collection of garbage. The Chamber said littering not only negatively impacts the environment, but also poses serious health risk that the country cannot afford. City Mayor Ubrajana writes that the council has been doing its best to clear the garbage pile-up in a timely manner. He called on businesses and residents to have garbage bins and receptacles in place rather than just place the garbage on the roadways. Outgoing Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defense Force, Brigadier Godfrey Best, has assured the safety and security of the country are in good hands, and he said the ranks of the GDF continue to provide exemplary service to secure Guyana's borders and citizens. The GDF Chief of Staff said the GDF also remains committed to contributing to the economic development of Guyana.
I wish to confidently state today, Excellency, that the safety of Guyana is secured. As we speak, we are aware of the sacrifices currently being made by our troops to be away from their family during the seasons in preservation of our patrimony and territorial integrity.
Brigadier Best said there were high levels of professionalism displayed by members of the force this year, and that there were no acts or incidents which called the force's reputation into disrepute.
The force has had its challenges, but nothing that was insurmountable, and nothing that could cause us not to enjoy the confidence of your administration and the citizenry. The force remains committed to moving forward to work together in service and dedication to one Guyana and to being supportive of national initiatives.
Best said his ranks, both senior and junior, continue to provide top-notch security services to the country. In the efforts, he noted the entire joint services has contributed. He assured Guyanese of a safe holiday season and an improved security posture in the new year. Mr. Best said while the force still faces some challenges of resources, he is confident that those issues will soon be addressed.
Census takers are visiting communities across Guyana and collecting information from every household. This information will help the government to plan better for our country's development. All the information shared will be treated as strictly confidential, and everyone is asked to participate. No one should be alarmed about any question asked, because the answers provided will help to improve living standards, decrease community crime rates, and improve access to housing and healthcare, among other benefits.
The census gives us the tool to identify some of these important gaps that exist across communities, within communities, and across regions, so that we can have targeted intervention.
Yeah, we counting way from region 1 to region 10, the whole country. Yeah, we counting way.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor of the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, Peru has declared Mexico's ambassador to Lima persona non grata and has ordered him to leave the country. Peru's foreign minister made the announcement in the latest escalation of tensions between the two nations after Peru ousted Pedro Castillo as president. The abrupt order, a severe measure in the world of diplomacy, gives Mexico's envoy to the South American country 72 hours to exit. The Peruvian government's decision came hours after Mexico's top diplomat announced that his country had granted asylum to the family of Castillo, who faces rebellion charges from behind bars after attempting what critics have labeled a coup on the 7th of December. Peru's foreign ministry posted on social media that the ejection of the Mexican ambassador was due to repeated statements from the highest authorities of that country regarding the political situation in Peru. The Mexican Foreign Ministry later said it was ordering its envoy home and said its Lima embassy would continue to operate normally. Canada will impose new sanctions on two former Haitian government ministers who are accused of corruption and protecting criminal gangs. It's the latest in a string of sanctions against Haitian politicians and business leaders. The sanctions on the two former ministers who resigned from their positions in the Haitian government back in November will see their assets being frozen that they may hold in Canada. One of those sanctioned was Justice Minister and Interior Minister when Haitian authorities were negotiating the release of American and Canadian missionaries kidnapped by gangs in 2021. Another became Justice Minister, and he came under scrutiny in July when an aide of his was implicated in weapons trafficking, a major problem for Haiti, given the power of gangs. U.S. members of Congress back in September called for sanctions against politicians in Haiti. And finally tonight, international news. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky embarked today on a dramatic visit to the U.S., his first trip outside his homeland since it was invaded 300 days ago. He's rallying his top international partner, the U.S., behind sustained military and economic assistance. The trip, which U.S. and Ukrainian officials arranged in secret over the past week, came with heavy risks. After arriving in Poland by train, Zelensky flew to Washington aboard an American military aircraft. U.S. officials said he arrived in the U.S. shortly after midday at Joint Base Andrews, just outside of the nation's capital. Zelensky arrived to the South Lawn just after 2 o'clock this afternoon, issuing a suit for his now familiar military green shirt. A military honor guard lined the White House driveway as his black vehicle pulled towards the building, reports the BBC. Just ahead of his arrival, the Biden administration announced it is sending nearly $2 billion in additional security assistance to Ukraine. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.